Yeah, real black. Tryna let the nation know I feel that. To all of my frontliners, it's a soundtrack. This shit is real black, for real. Ooh, real black. What we got is giving and can't steal that. I just want my ancestors to kick back, be proud and be black, for real.
Well, welcome to week 3 of the Highway Individual. That song you were just listening to, it's from a compilation album, Voices for Change. The title of the song is called Real Black. Kevin Ross, Trevor Jackson, and Jacob Lattimore. I think Kevin Ross and Jacob Lattimore are two young cats that I do follow. Actually, a fan of their music, their lyrics. Um, but yeah, man, with today's climate, we need to come together, right? Like, it's okay to be black, right? Real black. Let's stand up, protect our queens, protect our kings, princesses, our princes, right? Like, let's come together as one. I wasn't sure how I was gonna start today's video because this one is a little uncomfortable, right? And the title of this one is Fear and Paralysis, and I guess the steps, you take to get out of your way. Well, this past week was a little eye opening, right? Getting through the first week of just navigating through the online experience, getting familiar with your professors, some of your classmates, right? So, there's been work here and there, that's definitely keeping me busy. And I want that. Well, I encountered, a situation where I just could not, get out of my own way. And the situation at hand is in my African diaspora class, I had to prepare 2 essays on 5 main points that, 2 scholars had wrote about. Now, maybe behind my shoulder, you could probably see, I have the post-it boards and, just writing down, breaking down, outlines and things of that nature, right? Well, for some reason, the notion of I have not written a paper in one score and 5 years ago. So in other words, I haven't written a paper in 25 years. And that created fear, which caused a paralysis. The paralysis in which I'm speaking of is I just could not start writing because every point that I thought I was making, I was then saying, oh, well, he made that same point. So I would need to go change the other point. So I was playing, I guess, a game of tennis or, ping pong with myself, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right? Well, think about it. By doing that, there's something is happening, right? Time, hours, days are going by. It's like, yo, I need to really, get on this. you you fight, right? You do things, other classes that, get in your head. You reach out, to your classmates, right? And seeing how things are going for them. And I mean, you may project some of their well wishes or some of their vibes, and you might, absorb it, take it all in, and it may help you get started. Or by reading their responses, it could cause more fear, more anxiety, more panic. Well, that's what happened to me. I caused panic. This past Wednesday, I had the pleasure of doing my uncle duties. Avery doesn't have school technically on Wednesdays, but she receives assignments, to complete throughout the day. So while I was helping her, I go outside and I'm reading for my media literacy class. But the whole time I'm reading about that information, my mind is on this other situation. Had water, chilling out there just reading, right? All of a sudden, I'm feeling nauseous. But I'm not thinking nothing of it. So, I'm just reading. But once again, cannot fully concentrate. And that's when I was like, oh, I can't hold this in anymore. Yeah, I ended up throwing up. That pressure that I put on myself caused it, right? Now, the bigger issue here is after that happens, Avery comes outside. Now, I can't project this onto her. So I had to just tell her, oh, Uncle Jay's tum-tum is hurting. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, help, right? And that's real talk. That's what I was feeling. I'll go back inside and I try to get lost in her, meaning just focus on helping her. Okay, well, first let me clear up something. I wasn't helping her. This child is, y'all can call me biased or whatever, she's advanced, for a second grader. I mean, reading, probably on a fourth grade, fifth grade level. I mean, I don't know, but I was impressed. Words with multiple syllables just rolled off her tongue with ease. The math, just the way her mind, right? So getting lost in her allowed me to get lost for that moment. Now, I'm clock watching. I'm time watching, right? Because one thing that you know for certain, when there is something important that must be done, an hour goes by in 20 minutes. I don't know why it happens that way, but it happens that way. And then time is just flying. I get in my car, I get back home, and at this moment, I'm emotionally, mentally drained and scared, right? But it was something my uncle and I had a conversation, I would say maybe about the first week that I started this, right? And we talked about getting out of your way, right? But then he shared a message with me. He was like, "Yo, nephew, you got to look at this similar to the way you look at a job, right? Like if something is presented, It has to get done. Right? And that's what I did, right? I'm not gonna lie, like I took a quick, I think it was probably like an hour and a half power nap, right? Because as I stated, like I just needed to, come down. After that, got up and I sat down, and to break the paralysis, I just started typing, right? Like what I had written down, in my notes and everything was one thing, right? Because like those thoughts, I was able to, scratch out, but I stated once I start writing and get into this flow, I think I'm going to be all right. So when after that nap, but it was probably, let's just say 7 o'clock. Next thing I know, I typed until around 12:30, 1 o'clock. Went to sleep. Set my alarm for 3 hours later. I was up at around 4:30. And then wrote more until my class that day that I was having around 9 a.m. On Thursday. The crazy thing was, after submitting the first essay, a level of calm came over me. So what that told me was, you're gonna be uncomfortable, but you gotta push through. Now that the unknown is known, because I think that's what caused it, right? Like I said, just not being comfortable or familiar with the whole writing process for school again, right? It had been so long. So I got back into my mindset of, just do it. Looking forward to, the feedback. I'm going to do extra credit work, just to, get myself back in the flow. Like that's going to help me, not shying away, not running away, not succumbing to the fear and the paralysis. So that's what this is about. Tapping into changing the mindset. Fighting that paralysis, fighting that fear. I know I'm in an old school 15-round bout here. I'm going to come out the heavyweight champ. So, again, thank y'all all for the support in the Protect Your Peace campaign. I love y'all. I appreciate you. Remember, save the date, October 17th and October 18th. Those are 2 days. It's a weekend. We're going to walk both of those days. It's a virtual walk, with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Y'all have a great day. I look forward to seeing y'all next week. Peace, the Highway Individual.